Guys, it's RJ from Lip Rippers TV. I'm going to be doing a little video today on going over four baits. Four baits that you need to rig properly and tie the right knot on. They're going to be plastics, and it's going to be your drop shot, your Texas rig, your wacky rig, and your shaky head. So those are going to be the four today. That's what I'm going to go into now, and I'm going to break down how to tie them on, what knot to use, and what equipment to use. And it's going to be a two-part video. Part one, I'm going to be talking about the drop shot and a Texas rig. Number one, the drop shot. Now, I use a Berkeley Fusion drop shot hook. That is the name of the hook they use, that's on the packaging. They're fairly inexpensive, good quality hooks. You're gonna take your line and come from the bottom, the end of the line, come up a good 14 inches is what I like to do this time of the year when it's really hot. Come up that far. I'm gonna tie a Palomar knot. I'm gonna tie a little loop end right here. I'm gonna go through the loop of the hook. If I can get my fingers down there small enough. These are small little hooks, but they will keep the fish on there, don't worry. I'll caught 5 and 6 pounders on these little hooks, so don't worry about it. You're gonna come through, you're gonna go around, come back through the loop, bring it down, wet it a little bit, bring the hook back through the loop of the line, wet your line, give it a little snug pull, and voila. Then you're going to want to take, since the hooks like to do this when you tie a knot, you're going to want to take the end and run it back through the eyelet of the hook. Okay, that's gonna bring your hook to sit in the upright position. Okay, so I'm gonna take the tag end, undo your mess first. I'm gonna go back through it. And bring it back down. That's going to make my hook sit upright. You see that? Okay. Now, I'm just gonna tie, I have a tungsten little teardrop weight, well 3/16 ounce, okay? I'm gonna tie just a regular old knot on it. I don't want no massive thick knot on it, nothing like that. You don't need a Palomar knot on it. Some people like to, I personally don't, because these things do occasionally get hung up on the bottom in rocks and things like that. So when you're done tying a regular knot, your leader and hookup all should look like this. You should be able to see the hookup here. The drop shot weight's gonna be down here. Now, I like Robo Worms a lot. Those are my favorite drop shot baits. So I'm gonna take one. I'm going to take the tip of the Robo Worm at the top. I'm just going to hook it right through the nose, about 1/8 inch down, straight up it, and that's it. That does plenty enough action. You'll be fine. So when you're sitting, this weight will be sitting on the bottom, and this worm will be sitting outright. Don't worry about this sitting down. It will be sitting outright when it's in the water. So you'll just kind of jig it like this, and it will give you plenty of action. Don't worry, and they will eat it. Now that's a really good bait on a real tough day and real hot when they're just kind of deep and not wanting to bite a whole lot. They'll eat this. The drop shot, I have it rigged up on a Berkeley lightning rod, and it's a 7-foot medium action spinning rod. I like the spinning rod because you can kind of drop it down very easily. You can kind of just sit there and jig it a little easier. And I got it on a medium because I like the sensitivity it gives. You don't have to jerk down on it to set the hook on these things. You just kind of lay into them and it'll hook them plenty good. So you're not gonna, sometimes you'll feel them thump it real hard, but a lot of times it just feels like you got grass on your line. So when you feel that, you'll just kind of tighten up on it and you'll feel it moving a little bit. Then you just kind of slowly lift up on it and they'll be on it. So, and I have it rigged up on a quantum x-ray reel with 10-pound fluorocarbon on it, trilene fluorocarbon on it. So give that a shot, it will work. Bait number 2 is a Texas rig. Now, I use a 4/0 Gamakatsu EWG hook. Very sturdy hook. Never had a bit of trouble out of any of them. Very sturdy. They've never let me down, not one single time. Very sharp hook as well, and they're fairly inexpensive. So I'm going to use that hook, and I'm also going to rig it with a bullet tungsten weight made by Strike King in the 3/16 ounce. Okay, so you're going to take your line, you're going to run the bullet head with the point end facing up, slide that on there real good. I'm going to tie another Palomar knot. So I'm going to take my hook, do my little bend, push it through the eyelet, just like I did on the last one. Go through, pull the knot through, pull the loop through the hole, come down a little bit, bring the hook back through the line, wet it, voila, done. Now you're going to want to cut your tag end. You're going to want to cut that off. So now comes rigging the worm. I'm going to take my worm, I'm going to come through the top of it, just like that. I'm going to go up to the bend of the hook. I'm going to come out, come all the way up the hook, spin it around, go past the knot and the tag end so it's got clearance and it looks good. I'm going to give myself a little bit of play of the worm, come down, punch it through the flat side of the worm to where it's sitting there flat on the back side of the worm. Now I'm just going to skin hook it. Put a little bit of skin hook on it. See, now it's weedless now. There's no problem. Once the fish bites it though, it will move this out the way and your hook will be exposed and you'll make a good hook set. No problem. My Texas rig though, I have it rigged up on a Akuma Helios 7'6" medium heavy rod. Lots of sensitivity with this rod, but it's got enough backbone to get a good hook set and keep that fish on. You want to be able to feel the bite, but you also want to have enough backbone to pull them up. And I have it rigged on a Lew's Tournament MB 8:3-to-1 gear ratio. That way it's a fast gear ratio to be able to get that slack out the water when they bite and set that hook. So that's a good combination. I love this combo. For me, it's a big deal. I love this setup. So this will be a good setup for you if this is what you like. It's really each their own, but this is a good setup for me. I feel everything with this rod. The reels never let me down. Rods never let me down. Great setup. I also have it set up on 14-pound fluorocarbon, trilene fluorocarbon. Brought to you in part by RJ Davis Lawn Care, your one-stop shop for all your lawn care needs.